Let's go to page 720, and this is lesson 11.1. This lesson is to find the areas of triangle and parallelogram. So first, let's go and start with the area of a square. So if you have a square and the side are all equal, so the area of the square is side times side, so it will be s squared. Okay? So next thing is we're going to find the area of a rectangle. Now the rectangle is kind of just like the square. You just use the side times side. But for the side over here, this normally is called the base, and this is normally called the height. So for the parallelogram, the area equal to base times height. Okay, so these two are very straightforward, very simple. Now the next thing what we're going to do is going to look for the area of the parallelogram. Okay, so what would the formula for the area of parallelogram? Okay, to understand that, so what we're going to do is we're going to use some shapes. Okay, so let's say if you start out with a rectangle. Okay. Okay, so if you notice this is a rectangle, right? So notice that you have the base and the height, right? So area equal to base times height. Okay, now what if I move this over here to this side? Okay, you see that the base is the same, the height is the same. So for parallelogram, it's same as a rectangle. So area is base times height. So you can notice the parallelogram is the shifting of a rectangle. Okay, so you can see the rectangle is base times height. So when you move these over, the base stay the same, the height stay the same. Okay, see that? You just slide it over. So parallelogram is a shifting of a rectangle. Okay, so therefore the formula for the parallelogram is the same, base times height. Okay, now we're going to do the triangle. Okay, what is area of a triangle? Okay, what's area of a triangle? What? So if you notice that, okay, again we start with a. Okay, so we start with a rectangle. Okay. And then when we shift to parallelogram, okay. Okay, I'm going to flip this upside down this way. Okay, so again, you have start with the rectangle. Area is base times height. When you shift over, it becomes a parallelogram. Again, parallelogram, same area as that, right? But what happens if you separate this? If you notice, okay, a triangle is half of the parallelogram. Okay, therefore, the triangle is going to be 1/2 of the parallelogram, which is base times height. Okay, so you can start from here. So if you can visualize, it's very easy to memorize the formula. Right? Again, if you have rectangle or square, the area is the side times side, but in this case, a special name for the bottom is called the base times height. So that's a formula for the rectangle. But if you shift this over, it's a parallelogram. So parallelogram have the same base and same height as a rectangle. You just move this over, so have the same area. So area is base times height. Now for a triangle, it's half of that. See, if you notice, you separate that. So a parallelogram is two triangles. So a triangle would be 1/2 of that. So it'd be 1/2 base times height. So that's where the formula for a triangle came from. Okay? Okay. Now, let's go over some examples. Okay, let's go to page 721. And let's do example 1. So you have this shape over here. So this is 12, and this is Q, R, 8, U, S, and 6, P. Okay, from the area of the PQRS. So you're looking for this area PQRS. Okay? So what you can do is you want to turn this way, so you get the base and the height. Notice the base is 12. So again, the first write down the formula. So formula for the parallelogram is base times height. Okay? So sometimes you have to turn it sideways. Okay? So if you turn this way, see the base is 12, right? Because parallelogram, the base, if this is 12, this will be also 12. Okay? So the base, so area equal to 12 times the height is 4. And so area equal to 48. So sometimes you have to kind of turn this way. Okay? Okay, now let's go to example 2. Okay, so you have this triangle, and this is H, and this is 2H. And the area is equal to 36. Okay? So you have a triangle. So whenever you're going to solve something, it's important that you write down the formula first and you substitute. So first write down the formula for triangle. So triangle formula, again, we just derived earlier. The triangle is 1/2 base times height, right? 1/2 of the rectangle or 1/2 of the parallelogram. So it'll be 1/2 base times height. Then after you substitute everything, so area is 36, and whatever you substitute, put in parentheses, that way you know that that's what you substitute. So it'll be 1/2, the base is 2H, and the height is H. Okay, and notice the 2 and 2 cancel out, so you got 36 equal to H squared. You take the square root. When you take the square root, you get plus or minus 6, right? But because this is a physical object, so it cannot be negative measurement. So just use a positive, so H equal to 6, and that's it. Okay. Okay, let's go to example 3. Okay, so you want to paint the side of the barn. So it's a triangle and a rectangle. Okay, and so it's isosceles triangles, and this is 26 feet. This is 18, 26, 18. Okay, and it tells you that the paint covers 350 feet, square feet per gallon. Okay, so to figure out how many gallons of paint we need, first we need to figure out the area. Okay, so the area is going to be equal to the triangle plus the rectangle, right? So this is also important to write these things down. Okay, and so area equal to now the triangle. Okay. Notice that this one you have to use your special triangle. This is isosceles triangle. Okay, so remember your triangle, the isosceles, the 45-45 triangle. This is the most important thing, right? That you're supposed to learn. Okay, so this would be like 1 square root of 2, right? Right. That's your basic 45-45 square triangle. So when you go from long to short, you have to divide by square root of 2. Okay, so these would be 26 divided by square root of 2. Okay? Now, because this is not the final answer, so you don't have to worry about having the square root on the denominator. Okay? So the triangle would be 1/2. Okay, if you turn triangle this way, okay, base times height. So notice the base and the height are the same. So it would be 1/2 the base times the height. Okay? So that's the area of the triangle. Now the rectangle would be just the base times height, okay? So it would be 26 times 18. Okay, again, triangle is 1/2 base times height, and you want to turn it so that it's this way, right? So again, you have to have you want to use this as a base, and it would be the height. Okay? Okay, so notice that this will give you, so you can use 26, 26, and notice that this would be a 2 from here, and this would be a 2. Okay? Okay, so you have to know how to simplify your square root. And then from here you can use your calculator, okay? Or you can, if this is going to be equal to, if you do it without calculator, this would be 1, this would be 13, 1, 13. 13 times 13 would be give 169, okay? But you can just use your calculator, okay? So you're going to get 26 times 26 divided by 2. Now whatever on the bottom, you have to use divide on the calculator. Don't do the multiply, okay? So again, anything on the bottom, you have to push divide on the calculator. Okay, so you have to see, you have to push divide by 2, then divide by 2 again, okay? Push equal, okay, 169. And over here, you get 26 times 18 equal 728. And you add. So the area equal to 897 square feet. Okay, don't forget your label. Okay, so once you I don't think anything. Okay, I think the answer in the book is not correct. Okay, but anyway, so over here, then in the book, the area over here is not correct because you have the area equal to 637. Okay, it cannot be because 26 times 18. Okay, 26 times 18. Oh, 4. Okay, anyway. Okay, 468. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's okay now. Plus 169. Okay, here we go. So 637 square feet. Okay, there you go. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, so the area of this would be 637 square feet. So how many gallons does it take? Okay, so so what we need to do is we have to divide. Okay, so 637 square feet. Okay, now what we need to do, we have to flip this over. Okay, so you have to divide means times, flip it over, right? So it's going to be 1 gallon over 350 square feet. See, what happens is this is like your conversion factor. If you're looking for the gallon, you have to put gallon on the top. So whatever you're looking for, you have to put on the top. So if you're going to figure out how many gallons of paint, you have to put this on the top. And so you flip it over. So you can get your calculator. You're going to divide by 350. Okay, so it'd be 1.82 gallons. And so normally when you buy the paint, you have to buy 2 gallons because they don't sell by part of it. So you have to get 2 gallons of paint. Okay. Okay.